transformation, we will rise when we listen to the heart and the ways of the wise, on the flames of transformation, we will rise from out of the shadows and into the light, into the light, into the light.
Woo. We are live and we are back. Welcome. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to Unify Women Rising. We have the most incredible guest today, the most outstanding show. Share this out and get ready because you're going to learn everything you ever wanted to know about aura colors, everything about breaking out of the matrix, and how to read aura colors yourself. And there's a free aura color test that you could even take. So without further ado, I am Debbie G. I'm tuning in from Huntington Beach. Let us introduce everybody. And then I want to introduce our guest, Miranda.
Hi, I'm Miranda Clendening. I also go by Life. I'm one of the directors of Unify and super glad to be here tuning in from Crestone, Colorado.
Hey everybody, my name is Rachel Morrison and I am tuning in from the Sanctuary at sunrise in Loveland, Colorado.
And we have, you guys ready? Pam Oslie. She's a consultant, best-selling author, professional psychic, intuitive, medium, and aura expert. Pam has appeared on ABC, CBS, NBC, The Dr. Oz Show, The View, Ricky Lake, Ilana, Coast to Coast with Greg Norrie, Hallmark, Gaia with Lisa Garr. She's cool, Pam. She's really cool. And hundreds of other television and radio shows. She's also been featured in many national magazines, and you have spoken at a TED Talk in an international forum on science, Fortune 500 companies. And you've done so much. Literally, we could sit here for the next hour and talk about your accolades. What I can tell you is that we're very honored, very, very honored to have you here. Welcome to Women Rising.
Thank you. That was very sweet of you.
Well, it's true. And where are you tuning in from, Pam?
I'm in Santa Barbara, California, where we've got some coastal fog this morning, but it's been gorgeous and no heat. You know, it's just been mild and beautiful. So I feel very blessed to be here.
I feel you on that. I'm in Huntington Beach and it's just really, it's the same exact right now. It's just a beautiful morning. I want to give a huge shout out really quickly to my husband. Happy birthday to you, Joe Sliker. It's going to be a magnificent day. All right. So right before we got started, Rachel started asking Pamela questions about aura. Seriously, we're so excited about this. But first, I want to know a little bit about aura. So what's the big deal, Pam, about aura?
It's not a big deal. No, I'm kidding. We're made of energy and we all radiate off energy. You're broadcasting who you are all the time. And the cool thing about your aura, and I'm sure people have seen, your audience especially probably seen the aura cameras where, you know, they take pictures of this glowing light that comes off of you. And so I just want to say real quick, if people have had those pictures taken, they don't always show the aura, the life colors that I see. They show the emotional energy around the person. What I see when I see auras, which is this beautiful colored light that radiates off of people, almost like a soft light bulb. And I see different colored bands out from people. And the one or two bands of color that are the closest to your body are the two colors that reveal who you are in this lifetime. The theme you've chosen in this lifetime, your personality, the purpose you are here, careers that are going to be the most fulfilling for you, relationship styles and what you need and what's fulfilling for you, potential health issues. It's all revealed in your aura. It's an energy field, and science has measured it. It's an energetic, or it's an electromagnetic field is what they call it. And what I tell people is even if you can't see it yet, although we all have the ability to, we all feel it. That's why you can meet somebody for the first time and like them and feel good standing next to them. And other people are like, whoa, I don't even want to be in the room with them, because you're feeling their energy or their aura. So that's basically what it is.
So what's a yellow violet? She told me before the show. I'm like, let's get into it on the show. I'm like, what is it? How do you get there? How much do I have to cross my eyes to see it? I remember my grandma used to take me to church, Catholic church, I would sit there and I would just cross my eyes and look at the candles. That was my entertainment during service. And then I got whacked in the head really hard in a car accident when I was 17 and died. And for years after, I would wear these really big, thick sunglasses because I just could see colors shooting out of everything.
Oh my gosh.
It eventually like eased itself, but I'm curious. Like, first of all, like, what's the muscle, what's the meditation that gets you to like really see?
Okay, so typical Violet, she asked me 20 questions all at the same time.
I know, because it's so fun. This is such a cool topic.
Well, first, let me say this. I've run into a lot of people that see the exact same aura colors that I do. And I've also encountered a few people that see different colors and they have a different interpretation. It doesn't mean somebody's wrong and somebody's right. It means we're having a different experience of the aura, just like we taste food differently. So I'm going to describe what I see and what the different colors mean. And so that the life colors are the two that basically it's like, when you chose to come to the planet, you left breadcrumbs behind in case you got here and you forgot why you came, which is really easy to do. So we left clues. So it's in our aura colors, it's in astrology, numerology, iridology, palmistry. We got all these clues to remind us who we are, right? So the two bands of color closest typically do not change in your lifetime, just like your astrology chart doesn't change. I mean, your astrology signs don't change. The outer bands in the aura change all the time. Like I'm watching Miranda, she's got a bunch of different colors in her outer bands that I go, anyway, we'll talk about that. But
Miranda's a rainbow. She's just a rainbow.
Pardon? What,
Miranda's just a rainbow.
Yeah, well, she's got a lot of, not a rainbow, but she's got a lot of colors in her aura. So I'm watching.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I categorize the colors into 3 different families to help people understand the different categories. So there are the physical colors, and those are the people that process predominantly through their physical bodies, through touch. And those are reds, orange, yellow, and magenta. Then there are the mental colors, and those are the colors that predominantly operate or get what's true in life through their logic, their analytical. There's 4 different tans, believe it or not, tans and greens. Those are the people that analyze that kind of stuff. And then there are the spiritual emotional colors. And those are the people that predominantly process life or get what's real through their emotions or intuition, the inner eye, the psychic abilities, the inner vision, the intuition. Now we've all got all of those, but it's predominantly how you process life, how you get what's real. So yellows, and Debbie's got a lot of yellow too. So do I. Miranda, you're interesting to watch because you've got a bunch of colors around you. So I'm going to have to watch you because you have a little bit of yellow, but not as much as is really there for you. Anyway, so focusing on Rachel right now, since she asked about yellow violets. Yellows are big kids at heart. They're creative. They're playful. If they had their way, just so you know, yellows would not be working at all. Yellows like fun and freedom and spontaneity.
I just like do the passion thing.
No, that's a violet.
If it's work at all, it's just not happening. Like it's like if there's this. Yeah. Okay.
That's the violet side of you. I'll get to the violet side. Okay. But yellows are big kids at heart. They love earth. They love nature. They love dogs. Usually it's all about earth and nature. And yellows either get into the creative fields, they're writers, artists, designers, or they get into the healing fields. They're energy workers or massage therapists or create environments that are healing. Or they get into the physical fields, like they're yoga instructors or gardeners, or, they love working with their physical bodies. So yellows are more physical. I mean, I know so much stuff about each one of the aura colors, which is why I put it on my website and wrote books about it. But yellows are basically the big kids at heart. They're pleasers, but they're stubborn. We yellows don't like being told what to do. And yellows need variety and to be spontaneous. Yellows want to do what they want to do. Right. They're like, I want that candy. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. In power, yellows are the cheerleaders on the planet. They came here to bring joy to the planet and or healing to the planet. Now, I haven't gotten to the violet side of you yet, okay? So they came here to bring joy, to enjoy life, and or to bring healing to the planet, or all of the above. Yellows are the one color that knows If you're going to be here, you got to enjoy life. You have to have fun here. You got to enjoy the candy and the pleasures, but in a fun, gentle, kind way. Yellows are really nice, fun, creative people when they're in power. When they're out of power, meaning the negative side, I call it in power and out of power. You see how fast I'm talking, Debbie? That's because you got a bunch of violets on here, and violets go 150. I got it. Let's go. Punchline. I talk really fast for violets, or they want to, they get bored. Anyway, when yellows, the downside of yellows, when they're not in their power or they're living.
No, stay in up. I'm just kidding. We don't need to tell the rest of the world about those other parts, Pam. Come on, fast forward to the violet.
Yeah, we'll get to the violet stuff too. Yellows out of power are lazy. They don't really care. They're not motivated. They just want to. They can be addicts. They have to watch out for addictions. On the positive side, they get addicted to exercise or nature or positive things and being cheerful. On the downside, they procrastinate, and staying too busy is a good form of procrastination. They get lazy and flaky and irresponsible, and they're unmotivated. They can be addictive. So, some of your people
we call that the cocoon phase.
Yeah, I know. Now you're talking.
That's what that is. I'm just cocooning for a little while, you guys. I'll be back in a little bit. Just
well, both
It's so cute. She'll come to me and she says, Miranda, tell me what we're doing.
I forget sometimes.
I know exactly what she means. It means I need the energy to be the influence and the persuasiveness and the clarity on what we're doing. And then we actually play fantasy gaming music, like fantasy superhero gaming music. And then we start to go into we're building this technology and we're doing this event in a couple months, and we just riff until we're both totally full of energy. And then she's like, out in the world, butterflying again. And
there you go. Well, that's partly the violet side too. So yellows have a lot of energy. Matter of fact, yellows get accused of being ADD a lot, or ADHD, because they're just variety and want to do this and this and this and this and this. They can get really scattered, but both yellows and violets need to have alone time too. They need to have their quiet time. So that's basically yellows. They're very spontaneous, fun, cheerleaders, playful, childlike. They're just kids at heart, right?
I feel like if I ever go on a dating site, I would just give this video link. And just
there you go.
Let me know if this is your jam.
Yeah. So yellow's whole goal here is to have fun, to bring joy, to bring laughter. They love to laugh. They love to be playful. Now, I'm jumping over a whole lot of colors, like the reds and the oranges and the magentas and the tans and the greens, to go to the blues and the violets. So I'll go to the violet really quickly, since you asked about violet. Violets are the visionaries here. They come from the third eye. Violets, oh, now I got goosebumps with you guys. See, that's all the yellow, because yellows, when they hear a big truth, they get goosebumps or they get body feelings. Violets are the ones that came here to change the consciousness. They came here to improve the quality of life for people. They're the visionary. It's the power female, the power feminine, the yin energy, but it's the power female. So violets want to improve the quality of life here for people. Violets are the global humanitarians, and violets typically need to travel. Yellows like the earth, blues like stay in place. Violets are the travelers. They're the global humanitarians. So they want to reach the masses. Blues and yellows are good one-on-one with people. They got the patience to do that. Violets have to reach groups of people. So I either, and by the way, usually violets, Debbie and Rachel, and I'm watching Miranda, you got violet in your aura too. Violets, they need to feel like they're making a difference here. And so violets will either get involved in things like the arts or the media. So they're writers, producers, filmmakers, artists, musicians, performers, so they can reach the masses that way and inspire. Because you violets want to educate, inspire, and empower. You guys want to improve the quality of life here, for people, or animals or children. Blues are the ones that rescue people, like they take care of everybody. And Rachel, you and Miranda both have some blue in your bands.
I am a recovering blue. Thank you very much.
Pardon?
I said I am a recovering blue.
Yeah.
I have dropped that Like
Yeah.
10 years, I was like, nope, not doing that again. They don't do the broken wing bird thing. They come
That's it.
and they're like ready.
That's blues. That's who blues take care of. They're the rescuers, teachers, counselors, nurses. They rescue people, and they're very empathetic and psychic. Violets are very psychic and intuitive, but they want to inspire people. They will go, come on, go, you can do it. Let's get going. So violets are drawn to either the arts or the media, and or teaching or psychology. So our ministry, I see them being spiritual teachers and leaders, and violets can read people too. So they want to inspire them. If you go to a blue with the same problem, blues will go, oh no, it's okay, honey. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. We'll help you out. Don't worry. You're not abandoned. Violets go, seriously, still? Did you take action on what we talked about? Come on. Yeah, move. Let's get going. Let's get going. See how animated I am too, Debbie? That's a yellow thing. Yellows are very physical, expressive. So when I start tuning into yellows, I get very animated. So violets, aura violets get involved in causes because they have deep compassion for global, for humanity or animals or the earth. They want to make a difference here. Other violets, now you guys have way too much of the other aura colors to like this, but I have seen violets also get involved in politics and law. Okay, because they want to make a difference and they want to reach the masses. So those are violets. Violets in power are inspirational, motivated, inspiring leaders, visionaries, speakers. Just like, wow, people see violets and they feel like they know something and they want to hear from violets. So when violets are in power, they're very loving, allowing, compassionate. And they go, look, this is my vision. If you want to go, great. And if not, you've got your own path to go on. When violets are out of power, they either get really scattered and there's like 20 things they want to do, or they don't know which way to go next because they love projects. One of the things about violets is they don't want to work for other people. They want to do their own projects. They're not employee material. Okay. So when violets are out of power, they can get scattered. They get accused of being unrealistic dreamers because when violets see things, it's like, wow, 150. That's how fast I'm talking, right? Tans will do this just to show you the tan colors. They're very analytical, practical, logical, and they'll go step 1, step 2, step 3, and see how the violets are already going, okay, I got it. Let's go. Violets go 150. They get a dream, they get a vision, they get this idea. They don't always know how they're going to get there. And so a lot of people accuse violets of being unrealistic dreamers. So when violets are out of power, they either get really scattered and or they can get very critical, judgmental, holier than thou, narcissistic. It's all about them. They get very frustrated with humanity because they go, why can't people see what we need to do? How can they be this stupid? But that's out of power. When violets are in power, they go, look, I'm going to show up and do the best we can. And there's a purpose for everything going on. They just have much more compassion, understanding, and tolerance. Not when they're out of power. When they're out of power, bye. So
I want to jump in. I want to jump in really quickly because I just want to give a shout out to the audience. Bonnie is saying, so I wish you could tell me what you see around me. I'm hooked. I love this. Well, I'm going to tell you, she's got a free aura test right on her website. The link's already in the chat. Go there after we're done. Come back, review this show, and you'll hear all kinds of great stuff because right after we're done talking about aura colors, we're going to talk about quantum jumping because I have to talk about that after this because I have your course and it's so good. So good. Oh my God. It's so good. But anyway, back to the aura colors.
Yay. The importance of people understanding their aura colors. First of all, if they take the quiz, you guys, when you're taking it, really answer honestly who you feel you are inside, not who you've been raised to be, not who you think society expects you to be, not what your job's telling you to do. Like I'm watching Miranda. She's added a bunch of green in her outer bands. I go, I'm not convinced you were born a green, but I see green. And greens are keep things organized, be efficient, write lists, get things done. They're much more practical. And I go, Miranda, you've learned that one. You've learned how to do that so you can keep things organized and get things done. But you're not really a green, so that won't be totally fulfilling for you. You understand? So
what am I really?
I'm going to watch you and see, because I'm seeing some violet in there. I'm seeing some suppressed yellow in there. I'm seeing some blue with you. Do you have children or pets or something that you're mothering
5
everybody?
children, 5 pets.
That's
Or
why I
5
thought I
dogs.
was
Probably like 10 pets total.
Yeah, that's why
But
I'm seeing with children and pets around you. That'll bring up the blue. The blues are the moms. The blues are the teenagers. So I go, but it feels to me like you were really born violet with yellow. You were, and you've added the green, you've added the blue, and it keeps you busy. But at some point, I can hear from you, Miranda, that you're going to go, okay, now what am I doing with me? So you're keeping really busy, really busy, really busy while you're raising everything, and just get distracted. But you understand that violet in you is not 100% fulfilled.
I think that's why we like each other so much. Our violet and yellow just ping off of each other like one of those billiards. Just like,
Yeah. Because they describe visions together. The Beatles were violet yellow. Okay, Spielberg and George Lucas, violet yellow. I mean, they're Sonny and Cher. You guys are too young to know who they are, but
like Spielberg and George Lucas together. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it when I love handing off yellow to Debbie and Rachel and being more violet and green probably. I mean, blue is my natural, you know, when I'm off camera and taking care of kids and family and pets and every person coming to my house constantly. Yeah. Yes. As a child, I was like, you know, out in nature, collecting every animal and loving on nature. And very blue, I think.
Also yellow. If you were out in nature, that's very yellow, because blues don't like to exercise. Blues are very much, there's too much to do at home with my friends, with my family. I got to take care of everyone. Yellows are the ones that, matter of fact, let me say this. Wait, there's a bunch of stuff. See how I'm all over the place with you, Violets? You know, Violets multitask. And I go, wait, stay focused.
Yeah.
When people take the quiz, answer what you know, who you know your soul is. So you get your real colors. And then the benefit of people understanding their true colors is so they have permission to really live who they really are, so they feel fulfilled, so they feel like they're here doing the mission they came here to do, or you know, their reason for coming here, so they can be fulfilled. Because not everybody's a violet. A lot of people are here for different reasons, right? They don't want to save the planet. They want to, you know, make money, or they want to invent something or whatever. They didn't come for that, or they want to be a bodybuilder like a red, right? So
there's a red. That makes so much sense. There's a red.
Oh yeah, there's red.
Oh yes,
lots of different
colors.
Tell us
about these reds. I might have some insight intuitively, but let's hear.
Okay, good. So and then
I think there might be some reds out there, or at least people in our worlds that are reds, where we're just like, what?
We got a lot of reds and greens flaring up right now, so I'll tell you about them briefly. But one of the reasons it's also good to understand the aura colors, it helps you understand other people, instead of running around out there going, why can't you think more like me? Why aren't you being more like me? Because I got these answers. Like, because they're different aura colors and they have a different purpose for being here. So if you want to know about reds, reds are all about the physical body. They're and as in red, I mean, they can have hot tempers. They tend to be soloax a lot. They can, you know, get up. I've seen reds either do physical work, like they're truck drivers or surgeons or even dancers, but it's all about expressing the physical body, eating, drinking, you know, but they can have tempers. And they tend to be loners a lot because they just have that intensity. Madonna's a red, Sean Penn is a red, Russell Crowe's a red. Lady Gaga's got a lot of red. Do you see that physical? And Madonna was, I mean, not Madonna, Marilyn Monroe, red with yellow. Okay. But they're very sensitive.
They're a little peacocky.
Pardon?
They're a little peacocky.
No, that's usually a violet.
Oh,
violets are really good at being center of attention. Reds are all about, like I said, they can be rednecks, they can be tractor drivers, truck drivers, or they can be dancers, or they can be surgeons or roofers or construction workers. But it's
or Iron Men.
And firemen, yeah.
Iron Men.
Oh yeah, Iron Man, yeah. Bodybuilders, big time bodybuilders. Oranges are the daredevils on the planet. They're about physical too, but they like to be race car drivers and stuntmen and stunt people and extreme sports. They love the adrenaline of, you know, getting in danger. You know, they're rescue workers. I see oranges I went skydiving once and I went, oh my gosh, there's a lot of oranges on this plane. So they need adrenaline. Magentas are the bizarre, outrageous. They're still about the physical, but Andy Warhol was a magenta. They're just kind of like, they're the ones that invented the purple mohawks and the body piercings. And now other people are doing it, but they tend to be more outrageous. Really quickly, tans are the logical, practical engineers, accountants, bookkeepers, computer programmers. They like the details and the facts, and they like security and stability. So they tend to be more employees.
I like the idea of a tan magenta person.
You know what? I've never seen that combination. It probably exists, but I haven't seen that yet.
Like if you're a coder, that is just Andy Warholing this reality, come talk to us. Leave a link at the bottom. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, but they like to take physical reality and twist it and make it bizarre. They love to shock people, and they tend to be loners too, because most people can't put up with their bizarre behavior. They're outcasts. Now, a lot of violets think they're magentas, but they're violets because they've got more of a mission and compassion, where magentas are. We need all the colors. Now, the ones that are flaring up right now are reds. Reds, it's all about down to earth, usually. Tans don't like change. So tans want security, stability, practicality. Nothing's supposed to change. Greens are Miranda, you've added green in your aura, and you are not a green, but you do a good job with getting green things done. So I'm very impressed with how well you've done all these aura colors, and you're making them all work for you. No, you're doing a good job with it.
Rainbow Bright.
Are actually the type A personalities. They're the accomplishers, and they write lists and they get things done. And they're usually business managers, CEOs, real estate salespeople. Yeah, they're into things like that: business, money, accomplishing. If I see a green getting into the healing fields, it's usually a green yellow or a green violet. And then they've got not just masters, but PhDs, and they like to learn. Greens in power accomplish things. I mean, you give a green a job and they'll get it done, but they got to do it their way. That's similar to a yellow violet too. Yellow violets can be stubborn too when they're out of power. Violets can act a lot like greens when they're out of power, judgmental, dictatorial. But when greens are in power, they get things done. When greens are out of power, they are selfish. They will step on people to make money. They will argue, and you'll never win an argument with a green. Anything to get the money, to accomplish. And greens, usually they want to do it their way. Sometimes like violets too, but greens are very stubborn about it and argumentative. And again, for greens out of power, it's all about the money. It's all about money, greed, accomplishing. Bertie Madoff, green. Boy, I could list a whole bunch of out of power greens right now, and I'm not going to do that. But in power,
regardless of the color, we all have the ability to quantum jump, quantum leap.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a show called that?
Quantum Leap? Yeah, there was. And I think there's another one similar to it out there too. But
is it like that, or is it like something different? Right? Because I mean, he's like literally jumping into different realities, and in some way it is, but you're not avataring into these other people's bodies, or are you? Like, tell us. Like, so like, let's find the rainbow bridges into the quantum jump so that we can find that like orientation spot that we can reference and then like leap into.
Well, the show Quantum Leap a long time ago with Scott Bakula, it's accurate in that he was jumping into parallel universes. It's not accurate in that he was taking over other people's lives.
Got it.
When you go into parallel universes, you're taking on another version of you in another universe, in another frequency, in another parallel universe. So that's where the show wasn't right, but at least they showed, and we've had so many movies and shows about parallel universes, for example, which science has evidence those are real. And I know
like the butterfly effect.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. Parallel universes, we had Back to the Future, Frequency, Sliding Doors, the movie Yesterday. There's a whole bunch of movies out there that show what parallel universes are about. But there's, oh my gosh, you start getting into quantum leaping and quantum physics and parallel universes, and Debbie, that opens up a whole new world of where we're going.
I still try to figure out how to even figure out this reality in myself, like trying to take your quiz. It's like, do you want me to answer how I was as a kid or as a younger adult or now? Because there's some vastly different things. Like some of it talks about extreme sports and energy and jobs that you like. And when I was younger, I was like very extreme with a lot of that kind of stuff. But now I'm not as, I don't have like fiery, angry passion kind of stuff that comes out as much like I did when I was younger. But a lot of the questions are like, which one of me should I be answering this? Or do you advise taking it twice of like my younger self was more like this, and then my older self as I've learned to.
Yeah, not your behavior. Don't answer based on who you've learned how to be. And by the way, just to point it out, you've used one of the green words multiple times. Greens use the word try a lot. They say try, should, ought to, have to, need to, hard work, struggle. Those are all green words. Okay, out of power too. So when you take the quiz, it's not about, well, I used to be like this, now I'm like this, because there's a good chance that who you were as a child is more the real you, the more alive you, and who you've learned how to become is either you've learned how to be in power with your real colors, or you've added colors like the green around you that suppresses yellows, because greens don't get along with yellows. Greens want to get things done, and yellows are like, okay, we'll be spontaneous and go play and have fun. And yellows don't care about money, and greens are like, hey, we got to get this done. Stay focused.
Well,
Yeah,
can't
my
they just stay
green
in
and yellow argue with each other.
Yeah, they do. A lot of these colors, if you learn how to balance them out, they get along and they're great together. But there's a lot of colors that are not compatible, especially when they're out of power. And greens and yellows are a real good example of that. So violets and tans. Tans are practical, grounded, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10 their whole lives. And violets are like, no, 150. Come on, there's bigger things out there. And tans are like, no, is there scientific proof for that? No, no, no. Stay in the box. Stay in the box.
What is a violet to do, Pam? What is a violet to do? How do we do this? How do we talk to the 10 part of people?
You don't have
like
to. So
pull
what?
ourselves out of the quantum and like go back into the granular to like explain some things to bring everyone with us.
No, you don't have to bring everyone with you, especially when you find out about parallel universes. So each of the colors has a different way of staying in power. So for example, yellows, number one, need to exercise. They need to connect with nature. Yeah. They need to stay away from negative addictions, and they need to keep a sense of humor. Okay. If yellows do that, they stay in their power. They stay on their positive side. Okay. The yellows really need to be out in nature too. That's where yellows meditate. That's what heals them. Yeah. Violets to stay in power, so they don't get either scattered or judgmental. Violets, number one for violet is meditation, meditation, meditation. And I don't mean you have to sit in a corner and om. It just means quiet time, alone time. And usually yellows can't sit still long enough for that. So if they're in nature, or if there's movement, if there's music or chanting or nature sounds, they just need movement to be able to focus in order to sit still to meditate. But violets need alone time. They have to have meditation time so they can get their vision connected with their heart and soul, connected with their higher self or something greater, so they know where to go. That's one. Two, it benefits violets to travel, because otherwise they get all caught up in the stuff that's around them and they think that's what's real. Since they travel, it opens up their horizons. They see there's a bigger world, a bigger thing to life. Wow. Okay. Music helps a violet. Being around mentors or seeing mentors, things that inspire them, helps them. Violets need mentors, but then they outgrow the mentors and they become the mentors themselves. So anyway, so violets, you guys came here to help change the planet, to help shift the consciousness. But the number one way to do it is to teach by example. Violets people need to feel safe around a violet, not a violet telling them you're wrong and you need to do this and you need to get in the game. Come on, come on, come on. If somebody asks them, then violets are great teachers. But helping the tans, for example, learn their language, learn how to validate and respect who they are and help them shine with who they are. not because you want them to all become violets.
I have a question. Okay,
Yeah.
so the last time that I had you on, we were talking about Joe. It's your birthday, so we're going to talk about you. You were saying he tested a tan, and you said no, he's hiding under that. What does that mean when a tan is not actually a tan? They're a violet purple, or I mean I didn't say that right.
Violet yellow.
A violet yellow. I think you said, or maybe it was blue. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. What does that mean if somebody is testing a certain thing, but their essence of them is it? What does that all mean?
They've learned how to do a behave. They've added in their aura, in their outer bands, and they've learned how to behave that way. Like Miranda's learned how to do the blue and the green, even though she wasn't born that way. So in her case, she's letting it work for her. Those are positive addictions. I've seen a lot of people, especially males, especially yellow violet males, who think they're not supposed to be that way. They're supposed to be a tan. They think they're supposed to be the breadwinner and get out and get a stable job and make the money and be practical and be grounded. They've been raised by society or family or whatever to think that way. So then they start operating like a tan, and they'll do the tan, but deep inside, they still feel like something's missing. They're restless or they're not totally fulfilled. And usually if somebody's added tan and they've got the violet in there, it's usually like, well, once I get older, or once I get to retire, or once I get all the money stable, then I can go do what I want, right? So it depends if they use it for good, like what Miranda has. She's used all of those colors beneficially, or if they've used it to suppress who they really are. Or because a lot of people were raised like who they are is not okay.
Yeah.
You need to behave yourself. You need to fit in with society. So then they think they're not okay, who they are.
I think that is like that for me too. Like I noticed on the yellow and violet ones on the quiz, there's like some very big, yes, that's me. But on the tan, I marked sometimes on like everything. And I think those might be things that I just have had to do to be stable and feel like I'm, doing the right things in the world that they want you to do as a parent or whatever, but they didn't feel exciting. Like when I marked, sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, sometimes I have to be serious and really hardworking and really independent. But it was like this grudgingly marking sometimes on all of those.
Yeah, doing the tan stuff would not make you happy. The other thing that's beneficial, I'm a blue yellow. I don't push my stuff, but I created things to help people, to share with people. That's what blues like to do. If they see a good movie, they want to tell people about it. Oh, you got to see this little grab, not because they're trying to make money off of it. So in my book, Life Colors, I have all kinds of career things in there for not just each of the aura colors specifically, but the combos. If somebody's a blue violet, if somebody's a yellow violet, if somebody's a green violet, there's career directions in there for every single one of the aura colors. So they can get my book Life Colors too and look at the career stuff or whatever. So I've created a lot of different products for people, resources, so that people can find their way here and be happy.
Actually, that's what I love about you, is that you have all this out there. And everybody, the links are in the chat to the quantum course that we're going to get into talking about quantum right now. Is it okay, ladies? You ready to shift to quantum, or you want to keep going on auras?
Yeah. Yes. And I think that we can take a page out of Bonnie's book, who's example. And I think that when it comes down to like the quantum field and that first step, like that ability to Wim Hof a moment and just like be that true self that's coming through, whatever that color is, and like not compare it, not try to change it, not try to condemn it in any way, but to really like a flower, just like let it bloom.
Yeah.
And let that fragrance like be such a beautiful, attractive field to like the destiny that you trust with all your heart and soul is the thing that keeps, I think, making that quantum reality of possibility limitless. And I know that I'm so excited that we get to dig in on this, Pam, and hear from you and your experience about it. And I think that's something that you're also holding in this conversation around quantum realities is how to orient, but also how to let the rest of the fractals completely disintegrate so that you're really like owning like whatever that channel is that you're seeing, that vision that you're holding, that reality that you're embodying, so that it can become reality and not just like the quantum like possibility field, but like that deeply grounded embodiment.
Yeah, that's what and by the way, so that people know when they take the quiz, there's also lavenders and crystals and blues and indigos. There's a bunch of colors in there, so that you've probably got listeners that are going to relate to those colors. Okay,
So
they're more spiritual, emotional. So yes, Rachel, I believe that's where we're headed, is embodying, living as souls here and actually living that in physical form, basically bringing or evolving heaven on earth. Do you know what I mean? So that we don't have to die to be able to be free, that we're fully activated here and we get to live the joy and the amazingness of this beautiful garden here. I mean, this planet is actually beautiful. And so to be able to be authentic, to live as our true souls on this planet, unlimited, infinite beings on this planet, not what we think we're, these little biological robots that have to just work really hard to survive and put gas in the car. You know, it's like, that's not who we are. So where we're headed is people like you are starting to free people up to think differently. Go, I mean, and I'll tell you, COVID really did that big time. COVID was created to get everyone to stop, to go inside and connect with their souls and go, wait, who am I really? And I had so many clients calling me up going, you know what? I don't want to go back to that job. It was stressing me out. It wasn't making me happy. I want to live my authentic self now. I want to do what my joy is. I want to do what my passion is. I want to do what my soul's work is here now, my heart. And so a lot of people started shifting. Simultaneously, a lot of people went into fear and resistance, went, no, fixed up, no, you know. So there's still, it's us breaking out of the old consciousness into the new renaissance, the new way of understanding who we really are, not limited beings, amazing beings.
I love that. Thank you. And I just want to point out that there is a beautiful TED Talk that Pam has done on the subject of breaking out of the matrix. What does it mean from you, from your words, to break out of the matrix?
Well, let's see. How can I put this in easy terms? We are actually infinite, amazing beings with way more capabilities and potentials. It's amazing to me that there's so many superhero movies that are positive, you know, that are big right now. When I was growing up, it was all the Disney movies with the magic and the fairy godmother, right? And Peter Pan and all that stuff, right? It's like, oh, so what we're starting to uncover or emerge into or to realize or to break out of is that old hypnotic state that we're just these limited beings. We came here to have that full experience of being physical and restrictive. So we forgot that we are these amazing, infinite, multidimensional beings. And so we're starting to wake up from that now. We want to have the experience. Like when you go to a movie, you want to immerse yourself in the movie. You want to really feel it. And if somebody was sitting next to you the whole time in the theater going, hey, you know, that's not real, you know, hey, those are just actors, you know, hey, snap out of it. You know, the movie, you'd be going, stop it. You know, we want to have the full experience of this movie. So that's what we've been doing. But unfortunately, we've turned it into a nightmare where people are not happy or fulfilled. So our souls are starting to emerge out of that, the Maya, as the indigenous people call it, the illusion that that's all there is to who we are. So what I talk about even in the TEDx talk is that we have the ability to be psychic, remote viewing, talk to people on the other side in other frequencies and other dimensions, connect with soul, spirit guides, parallel universes, so we can shift our life from one experience we're having right now to even do like spontaneous healings or change our relationship status instantly with parallel universes. I teach people in my course how to even bend spoons so that we can see that matter. That's what, here's the deal. We had a renaissance before. We had the dark age. We had the fall of the Roman Empire. Then we went into the dark ages where we had a pandemic, by the way, the Black Death, okay, the Black Plague. We had a pandemic. And then what emerged out of that was a renaissance. which was a radical new way to see in life. All of a sudden, Newtonian physics was there. The world wasn't flat anymore. It wasn't the center of the universe anymore. Everything changed. The printing press came out, so now there's mass communication more. New art, new philosophy, new literature, new beauty. It was
the ledger was invented.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah. So
That
all
changed
kinds
so
of
much.
all kinds of new stuff emerged, but what emerged was Newtonian physics. And Newtonian physics basically says we're biological machines and that we're separate. What's starting to happen now is we're moving into a new renaissance. And what's at the core of it, besides our spiritual awakening, is quantum physics. And quantum physics is saying, it's radical, you guys, what quantum physics has discovered, and we're not living with it fully yet. It's that there's no such thing as physical matter, that it's all energy, and we're creating the experience of having physical matter, which we can do for the fun. We can experience being physical. We like that. I want to taste ice cream. I want to walk on the beach. I want to be in the water. I want to feel all those things. And I want to have the emotions of being in love, all that stuff. So we want that physical experience. But we're starting to wake up going, I can create anything I want. I'm not this limited being. So that's why, like in my course, I show people remote viewing and expanded consciousness. And you can use those if you want. You don't have to bend spoons. You don't have to do remote viewing. You don't have to talk to spirits on the other side or loved ones on the other side. But knowing that you've got the option to do that those are real, natural abilities because of who we really are, not who we've been hypnotized and trained into believing that we are. It worked for a while, fine, but we're kind of getting bored with it, you guys, on that limiting thing. We want a more expansive experience.
Well, I think one day, Pam, I would love to have you back on to discuss how the heck you figured out how to make such a great career out of this. Right? Like all the things that you've done, the accomplishments that you've had. Like there's something that I think you're tapping into about this limitlessness and this super grounded application that I think is really rare. I think, like you said, like a lot of really, I would say like successful violet lawyers or something like that have figured it out. I'm probably sure Ali Shanti is one of those guys. But I think there's something unique in the how and the step 2, right? Create like the groundedness of the publications that you've done, and just the list goes on and on and on. So it's like a no joke conversation, and I'm really excited to have a conversation with you one day. I kind of feel
I've always
really
been
humbled in my words, which is very rare. And so I'm just saying I really appreciate you, and I'm kind of having like a business crush a little, and so I'm just.
I can tell you, from every time since I was little, I love going beyond boundaries. There's something in my soul that called me. I know the purpose I came to the planet at this particular time is to transform and to go into this new renaissance. That is my calling. That's my purpose here. And so I allowed myself to go for it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, when I first started doing the work that I'm doing, I was running concert facilities and rock and roll facilities and hanging out with actors and rock and roll big stars, right? And then I went to hear a psychic speak, and I walked into the room and he said, "You get up here. You know how to do this." And I went, "What? How? What? What? No." And he said, "Look, you've been asking to go to the next level. This is it." So he pulled me out in front of the group that night and said, "I want you to start telling people what you see about them." And I was scared, but I did it anyway, because there's something in my beingness that wants to go beyond limitations, that I'm called to do that. So I was scared, but I did it anyway. And I found out I knew things about people. It's like I knew a woman to my right was pregnant. She didn't even know she was pregnant, because for the first time in my life, I saw the spirit of a little girl standing next to her. Never seen that before in my life. So I told her, she went to the doctor later, found out she was pregnant. She had a little girl. It was like, wow. So I had to be willing. That's what I tell people. In order to do this next level, you have to be willing to go for it. You have to believe in it enough to know that it's possible, which is why I demonstrate it to show people it's possible. When I do my workshops, It's amazing how many people they bend spoons in the room because other people are doing it. Because otherwise, if they're doing it by themselves, this isn't possible. This isn't possible. As soon as they see other people doing it, it's like, wow, wow, it's possible. And then their spoons bend. So I like to demonstrate it. That's what I do is I learn this stuff. And I didn't want to just do woo-woo. I didn't want it grounded. I wanted to know. So I studied quantum physics. How is this possible? So I've got the balance. Yeah, I've spoken at the conferences of science and new consciousness. I've been a speaker at those things. So it's like I want to understand the grounded, as you said, the practical, the grounded, the physics behind it, as well as the spiritual and the evolution and the consciousness expanding things, so that one, I understand it, and two, I don't sound like an idiot when I'm talking to scientists.
And also how to make a living being an oracle. I think that there's probably a lot of people that tune into this show that are like, how do you just be yourself and do the thing and like not have to do anything else but fully live in this like quantum space outside of the matrix, right? And I think that's such a big leap for people.
That has to do with our beliefs. That's why I wrote the book, Make Your Dreams Come True. It's all about identifying the beliefs, because we create a reality based on our beliefs about reality and ourselves. So I created the book, Make Your Dreams Come True, to help people uncover. I made it full of games and processes. It's a whole book of games and processes. So people can uncover their hidden beliefs, like I'm not enough, or you have to work hard to make money, or they won't like me, or blah, blah, whatever it is, the beliefs that are in there. We play games so that you can see what beliefs are hidden in there that you might not even know are in there. And then I show people how to transform those beliefs to make them positive so you can do this. So I did a lot of my own inner work, a lot of my own stuff.
A lot of fun. It sounds like you're talking to the yellows in the room, right? Like they're games. I swear, you're gonna have fun. Just like read the book.
And it has to be fun. It has to be fun. So I speak mostly to blues, yellows, and violets. That's my biggest crowd, because crystals and lavenders, I still attract them, but they just get validated that they don't want to be out in the public eye. They want to keep it simple. They want to just meditate and create quietly. So they find I make it okay. Yeah, that's who you are. Go for it. You didn't come here to save the planet or make $1 billion. It's you. Violets, by the way, I will tell you this. Violets, greens, and reds are the colors that make the most amount of money here. Okay, reds, it's hard work. Greens, it's the business, the practical, but it's also hard work. Violets want money, but they want money for the freedom it gives them to live their life the way they want, and the freedom to do their mission here. They're philanthropic. They want to affect the masses. So what I'll say is, you violets can't do things just for the money. It doesn't feel right. You have to believe in it. You have to enjoy it. There has to be a higher purpose to it. Tans and greens don't process that way. They're like, what are you, crazy? You have to work. I don't care if you don't like it. You have to get a job and work. And violets are like, I can't do that. I have to do what I believe in. So once people have permission to be who they are, all kinds of things start showing up. And yes, Debbie, the quantum physics stuff, how it's all energy and we're making it all up. And I'll tell you, one of the first things I did to start creating a lot of money is I started visualizing money just pouring down out of the sky. Because we have this whole thing, if I make a lot, I shouldn't ask for money because I'm taking it from somebody else, or I'm being greedy, or I'm not being spiritual, or you have to work hard. There's all kinds of old beliefs that we've been raised with. When you start realizing that it's all energy and your thoughts create that, I mean, take a look at the double slit experiment. I'm going to recommend people go to YouTube and look up Dr. Quantum, the double slit experiment. I mean, it's awesome. He puts it in an animated form, because what quantum physics has discovered is that our thoughts are not only they're affecting matter, they're creating our lives and focusing on parallel universes, which universe we're in. But now they're starting to discover that our thoughts and our beliefs actually create our physical reality. So what I did is I did this visualization where I just saw money just floating down out of the sky in big piles all around me. So I wasn't taking it from somebody. I was bringing it in from the field, from the quantum field, from source, from where they, what physicists have started to discover is that there's a quantum field out there. So I just brought it in from the quantum field, kind of Christ-like. And I'm not religious, but Christ was doing that, water to wine, bread and loaves and fishes at it. It's like, what? So I started doing that very shortly after that. I want to say within a week, but I've lost it. This was years ago, so I don't remember how long it took, but very shortly. I got in the mail some person who I'd never met before in my life. He found one of my books, liked it. He sent me 100,000 shares of his company, which was a brand new company. It ended up being worth $10,000 from a stranger. I was like, what? Because I did that. And so I told some friends of mine about that. And so they go, well, we want to try that too. So every night for 5 minutes, they would meditate in their bed, visualizing all this money coming in. And shortly after that, she got called from a game show. She doesn't even know how she got called. She loves game shows. I don't like game shows. She does. Some game show called her and said, we want you to be a guest, a contestant on our show. So she went on some game show and won $25,000 in 1 hour playing a game, which she loved. So it's like, there's a lot about reality. The old Newtonian physics that we've been taught is not reality. It's the energy and the consciousness in our souls we know how to manifest. So, and I still get caught when I'm ready to go to new levels. I still get caught in that Maya of the old world. And it's like, man, letting go of that is tricky. As I go to new levels, I know how to manifest it on the certain levels that I've gotten good at. But when I go to a new level, I still get that challenge of, whoa, can I do the next level? Which is what I'm focused on now. And I'm doing it not just for myself, but it affects the entire consciousness of the planet. See what happens, Debbie, when I'm around violets? Violets like to communicate. And then I get all excited and passionate. And that's a word for violets, by the way, is passion. Yellows, it's fun. Violets, it's passion.
Passion, what's not to like?
I think the big message today has been live in your truth. I love aura colors because what you've shown me today is that if we really investigate and research through your book and through your teachings, because you have courses that are available that are awesome. I love your courses. I personally recommend them because I have them. They are so informational. The more we can learn about ourselves, the easier we can stand in our truth. The more we can understand other people, the easier we can be compassionate and empathetic without all of the chains of the old system. So I just want to, I'm with Rachel. I'm just over here. I've just got a big old crush.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I'm sorry, you're going to hear a blue word come out of me right now because this is a blues theme song. I'm sorry that we didn't get enough opportunity to really talk about the stuff with quantum physics and the quantum leaping and parallel universes and how that works and how people can easily shift, as easy as changing your radio station or as easy as changing the channel on your TV. We have the ability to shift our lives that easily, but we don't know that because we think there's only one reality. And that's not true any more than there's one planet, one galaxy, one nation, one solar system. There's an infinite number of you right now, and you're aligning with the version of you that you believe in. But if you change your beliefs, you instantly, now you're not going to see a wall in there where you change realities, but you instantly align with this new you. It's amazing how it works. There's so much fun that's going on that's emerging right now, you guys.
Yeah.
It's time to play. Time to play in the quantum field. And the audience is asking for you to come back. Rachel's and we would really like to dig specifically. We just get so excited about everything. Like we need 2 hours with you because there's so much to go over. And I'm so grateful for such a great audience today. And thank you. And please go to the links. There's a link to the free aura colors in there. There's a link to the quantum course, which I personally have and love. That's where you bend spoons, things like that. Really learning how to play with this reality in a way that only Pam could bring through. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff. And I highly encourage everybody to watch the TED Talk because it is out of this world. It's freaking bomb. And watch for the new Unify magazine because Pam's in it. Just keep
And,
your eyes
and
out.
it's a money back guarantee. You get a full money back guarantee. If you get the courses, you don't like them, you get your money back. You got 10 days to really check it out.
Yeah. And they're saying, please come back. Please. Yes. Bomb. Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Want to hear more.
We barely touched on the subject of the quantum stuff and what you're talking about, but there is so much to dive into. That's one of the reasons why we put that as one of the main subjects of this show. And over the next month, we'll be addressing that with multiple women. So we'd love to have you back, Pam, and have you back in that discussion, and we'll focus on that. The aura color stuff is so interesting, though. It's like, I mean, you could go on for weeks and weeks. I'm so glad you have a course around it and everything, that you can continue that learning and discovery. I mean, for me, it taking the quizzes became more complex because there's so many. I have like 2 strong ones. It said, your quiz said in violet and magenta, but also very strong in like indigo and green and yellow. And it's just interesting to, now I got to go learn about all of them and figure out what that means. And
Yeah. And there's little mini videos that you can watch on each one of the aura colors that are just mini videos. And then if you want each one of the aura colors, I have a full course, 2-hour course on each one of the colors.
wow.
And they're really inexpensive.
Awesome.
Because you rock like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah. And I want people to know that anything I can do, that means all of us have the ability to do it. So that's why I'm getting the consciousness elevated so that people start manifesting from their own natural abilities.
And the biggest one is changing your mind and sticking to it.
Yeah, commitment. That's a hard word for yellows, but violets need that commitment.
You're awesome. Thank you, ladies. Once again, it's been a fabulous good morning. Happy Saturday. See you all later. Thank you, Unify. Go to unify.org. Make sure that you sign up to the mailing list. Get everything that's going to be happening on Unify, and make sure that you've liked the page and shared this out. We love you. So long. Farewell. We're off.
Let us rise.